Hey there, happy Saturday. It is October 1st. Can you believe it? I can't. I was pretty sure it was still August. The weather seems to not be sure what month it is either. Tell my viewers in places with less good weather than me, I hope you're all safe and sound. My thoughts are with my friends in Florida and the eastern coast that were hit by Hurricane Ian, and especially Puerto Rico that was so hard hit by Fiona. It's a travesty, really, and that's all I'm gonna say. But I don't know. It's almost as if there's like a change in the climate, and we're getting all these crazy storms. I don't know. Anybody know anything about that? Right. Anyway, happy spoopy season. Yes, I like the word spoopy, and I will use it unashamedly. I'm actually not that much of a Halloween fan, but it is a really fun month. Everybody just kind of relaxes and just is like, yay, fun things. You know, it's less sort of intense and serious, and I think everybody needs that. I like pumpkin spice lattes and frappuccinos. I am not a big fan of all the other pumpkin spiced stuff. I'm an apple pie person. I like all the apple flavored stuff. They have this apple flavored yogurt, Greek yogurt at Trader Joe's. That's like a seasonal thing. It's new this year. It's really good. If you like the baked apples type stuff, that's what I like. Um anyway, what's your favorite fall drink? It's okay if it's alcoholic. Good hot toddy can hit the spot when you're feeling a little down, under the weather, or cold. It is not cold here, but it is also not hot. It's actually really pleasant today. So thank you for that. It's supposed to be hot next week, which is just not fair. It's October. Get with the program. Anyway, mentioning Patreon, I'm up to 824 subscribers as of this morning. It would be really great if I could hit 1,000 by Halloween. So if you are watching this and you like apples and Halloween as well, if you like apples as much as I do and you like Halloween and you're feeling like hitting that subscribe button might just add to your joy this Halloween season. Now's a good time to do that. If you like my videos, recommend me to your friends. Say, hey, if you like Wordle, I know this in word games. I know this cool person. If you like GeoGuessr, there's this person who sucks at it, but she makes videos anyway. Come join my streams on Sundays. If you subscribe, you can hit the notification bell. You'll always know when I'm streaming. And when I do get to 1,000 and I can monetize, I know some of you are waiting for YouTube membership. I can't do that until I get to 1,000. If you're interested in supporting me monetarily before that, I do have a Patreon. I only ask for $1 a month for a lot of bonus content. You get a bit more bonus content if you spring for the $5 Explorer tier. And I am planning to release another vlog, hopefully today. I definitely know what I want to talk about. And that is only available to Explorer tier patrons. So if you're interested in my thoughts on things, that is where you can find them. That way I don't overburden the beginning of these Saturday videos with things that are on my mind. Other than that, you can come hang out with me on Discord. Link is in the description below. And let's play some word games. I thought I'd do a few different ones this week. Some of the same ones because I have to, and then some different ones. So we're going to start with Wordle Peaks today. Move on to Symble, and then we'll do Fibble, Verticle, and a one I just started playing and learned about called Not Wordle, which is challenging but quite satisfying. So we'll give all those a try. Let's get to it. So, Wordle Peaks. I'm going to start with Spook, because it's Halloween season. Not a bad start, actually. Fairly middling, except for the S. How about... I don't know what I'm doing. This is not going to lead me to a word at all, is it? How about defer? Oh, I like defer, actually. Interesting. Okay. L-A-I. That's not a thing. I was going to do lanai, but I is not an option at the end. Actually, what do we end with here? Could be maybe CT? ICT? Edict. Yes! Oh, that was so good. Oh, I'm proud of that. That was great. That came out of nowhere. Okay, we will start Symble with Edict. Okay, do we end in T or not? Let's try ending in T first, because T is not unusual to end in. How about plant? Okay, we do not end in T, but plant was a really good guess. I think we end in E in that case, and I was going to say apple, but then the P would be second. I'm going to try ample, though. Well, that was really good. So, for those of you not familiar with Symble, I'm going to explain how I came up with that. So it was fairly clear that the hearts were gray, so I only knew what letter was at the end, but I didn't know which one it was. So I tested for the T first by making 4 new letters and then the T. And since I didn't get the same symbol in that spot, I knew that the yellow sun couldn't be green, it had to be yellow. But then I had 3 new letters from plant that went in the first, third, and fourth spot. So I knew I needed 1 letter from edict, and I figured ending in E made sense. And I needed 3 letters from plant. And I was like, well, LE is a smart way to end. And then I kind of just built up from there. So it is a little bit of luck and a fair amount of skill as well. I really enjoy Symble for that reason. So let's move on to Fibble. Fibble I am still not an expert at, but I at least know how to play it now. So in Fibble, you're solving like Wordle. Green and yellow mean the same thing. You're looking for a 5-letter word. Uses the same answer list. But on every guess, one of the tiles on that guess is lying about its color. So it starts us off with the word green, and it could be that there really is a G and it's lying about the color of the G. It could be that there's not an R, or that the R should be yellow. Or, for example, it could be that the N should be green. But we don't know. It's only exactly 1 lie per line. So once you identify which one's a lie, you know all the other information is true. So what I like to do is try to create, try to find a lie, meaning like force it to a contradiction. And to do that, I like to play a word that repeats several of the letters in the same positions. Let's try chain. So that way, if there's any differences in the A, I, or N, I'll know there's a lie. And we got 1. Unfortunately, we didn't get 2. I like getting 2 contradictions, but we got 1. So we know one of these ends is lying. Either it's supposed to be green or gray, or it's supposed to be yellow or gray, which means there is an N because, well, they could both be lying. That's actually not true. They could be both lying. But since we know at least one of them is lying, any other information that is consistent between these 2 words must be true. Because if this one was lying, these would be true. Therefore, these would be true. Or, I can mark it, by the way, with the blue rectangle to show it's true. If this one's lying, we know these would be true, and therefore these would be true. So we know, regardless of which of these ends is lying, that there is an A and an I. And of course, both ends could be lying as well, and there could be no N in the word. But even so, it would still mean that there's no A and there is an I, and the I is yellow in that position. So I'm going to do a 3rd word that repeats some of these letters in order to try to catch it in another contradiction. So how about frail? Okay, so we know these 2 things are true. And we did not get a contradiction between the R's, and we don't have another lie that we can identify. So that was not a great guess. How about plain? That'll test that L again. Okay. What is going on here? We still know these are true. The L's are consistent. But again, I didn't get a contradiction, so I need to start moving things around. How about prime? Okay. So the P's agree. This is very odd. These R's disagree, but there's nothing else consistent between frail and prime that I can use. How about price? Nice. Okay. So this gave me a ton of information because look, I know that one of these P's is lying, therefore R here is yellow, therefore this R and this R are lying. Therefore, this N must be yellow, therefore this N is lying. There's no C or H. Wow, that was great. So this N is true. I know this R is lying, so there's no F, there's no L, so this L is true, which means this P is lying, which means this P must be lying, which means which means all of this is true, which means this is true, and this is true. Now what I don't know is if the P should have been yellow, and if it was, then the C would be here. If not, then this C is lying. But that was amazing. That was really good information. So let's try, I know there is an R. Let's try starting with R. Let's try ricer. See what happens. Okay, these C's contradict. This E could be true. This I think I got the I and the E right, and I think this R, no, I think this R is lying, because if there's we know there's an R in the word, so it should have identified the first R that I guessed as yellow if it was wrong. So that means I think this is the lie. So I think it must be I-R-E. Yeah, I think this C was the lie and there's no P. I'm pretty sure about that. So I think this C is true. Oops. So I think this R is lying. So what I'm looking at is something like this. So what does that look like? Tired? Let's try tired. Ooh. Okay. I might not solve this, guys. That would be unfortunate. Oh, I need an M. Oh, I forgot about the M. Well, if I know the R is a lie, what in the world is it? See, but I think this is lying. I think there is an R in it. Well, I said there's an R in it. I'm a little bit confused because if this R is lying, does that mean it could have been green? But if it was, then this would have been lying because there's only one R in the word as far as I can tell. You can't have two lies unless I'm looking at this completely wrong, but I don't think so. I think all of my reasoning was good. Forgot about the M though. The only thing I can see is mired, but that would be two lies in tired. I guess if this is lying and it should have been green, then this is technically true because there is an R in the word. But I don't know if it works that way. Keldar? Can you clear that up for me? Because otherwise it would have to be R-I-M-E. That's not a thing. I'm going to go through all of my conclusions again and see if I come up with something different, because something isn't working for me here. Pretty sure all my thought process was right, but it's possible that it wasn't. That definitely happens to me, although my 3 shorts went pretty well today, so I'm feeling confident. All right. So we said one of these ends is lying, therefore anything else consistent between grain and chain must be true. So this I is yellow, this A is gray. We don't know anything else. Now in frail, we did not learn anything, but we know these are true. In plain, we still didn't learn anything, but then we did prime, and then price. So between prime and price, the P's contradict. So this R is consistent, this, oops, This I is consistent, and this E is consistent. Now, what else did I decide, and was I... Oh, yeah. So if these R's are yellow, these R's are lying. So there's no G. There is an N. This N is lying. There's no H or C. Oh, there's an N also. Minor? Minor. There we go. I'm glad I went back through that. I'd forgotten about the N, and that cleared that right up. So this R was lying in that it should have been green. This R was telling the truth, because this R should have been green. So that answers my question about how those R's worked. Ricer was not a good guess. That confused me, I think. But I got there. Good thing I went back through. It's always worth a second look. Okay, we'll start vertical with minor. I'm good with that. So the way vertical works, let me put the first word in so that I can explain it. If you're not familiar with it, you're guessing a word like in Wordle, except what you have to do is kind of imagine that these letters all dropped down into the horizontal slots. So if the M was first, it would be gray. If the I was first, it would be yellow. If the N was first, it would be gray. If the E was first, it would be yellow. If the R was first, it would be gray. So there's an I and an E in the word, but neither of them is in the first slot. That's all we know from that. It doesn't mean they can't be second and fourth. It just means they can't be first. And so we try to guess a word from that. So I like to kind of play this in hard mode because I find it a little easier to kind of imagine what the word might be. So I'm going to try cried. Oh, there's no R. Plied. Okay, so what this means is the I is second, because if you read it across, the I is green in the second position. There's also an L, an E, and a D, and obviously they aren't second because the I is second. But that was a really good guess. All right, so it could start with L. Something like liked would work. Okay, no, the E is third. So the word is something IE, and there's an L and a D. So it's probably wield or yield. Is that how you spell wield? No. Wait, IE. Listen to yourself, Jessica. Hey, look at that. I got it in 4. I'm pretty pleased with that. I usually get it, you can see, 4 or 5. I got it in 3 a few times, and I was really pleased with that. Never gotten it faster than that, but, you know, there's a first time for everything. So I'm pretty pleased with that solve. Wield is good. And now Not Wordle. Not Wordle is by the same person that makes Verticle. In fact, if you look here, they actually have 14 Wordle variants, and if you go to their YouTube video, they go through all 14 of them. The only other one that's caught my attention really is Not Wordle. It's really, really interesting and very hard. So I'm going to start with Wield, because why not? So what it does is it gives you 6 clues about the word that you guess, i.e., good Lord. So it gives you the Scrabble score, and it gives you down here in the keyboard the value of each letter. You don't have to like know it by heart or anything. And then it tells you whether the score is lower or higher than what you need, whether you need to go earlier or later in the alphabet, whether the word is too common or too obscure. Now, this one is one that's very hard to sort of use at first, but it means how many steps would it take in a word ladder to get to the answer from this word. And a word ladder, it's like, I think it's called Weaver. And there's also forward, where you have a word and you change one letter at a time, but each time you change a letter, it has to create a valid word. And you try to get from one word to another. So it would take 9 steps to get from wield to whatever the answer is. And then it gives you information about one of the colors. So one of the letters in wield is yellow, and that's all we know. We don't know which one. So we need to go toward A. So let's go quite a ways toward A. How about L? Let's start with L. That would also mean the L was yellow. So that would solve, that would, English. It would, investigate 2 possibilities at the same time. Where in the alphabet we are and whether L might have been yellow. So the score's too low, so we need higher scoring letters, and W is already 4 and D is already 2, so we're going to need something even better. I'm looking at, now if the L is yellow, that means I can't use I or E either. So what about something like, I'm not sure L is good, actually. Actually, I'm going to do L second. I'm going to do cloak. Yeah, I think cloak is good. I'm gonna do that. Okay, score is still too low, but I do need to go higher in the alphabet again, and it's too common of a word, but one of the letters is green. So I think the L is green, so I'm going to leave it right where it is. That doesn't mean, by the way, that some of the other letters aren't yellow. Like there could be an O and an A in the word also, but it only tells you about the green letter if there's a green letter. So let's try GL. In fact, let's try gloat. No, that's not enough points. We need higher score. How about pluck? Oh, no, that would be 2 green letters. Plume? Plume isn't enough points. Oh, there wouldn't be an E. Doing well here. Flout? Not enough points. Oh, the O shouldn't be there anyway. Flaky. Ooh, I like flaky. Score too high. Okay. Farther towards Z. Too obscure. I honestly do not know how it decides whether something's obscure or common. But look, I got 5 grays, so I've eliminated all 5 of these letters. So the L was not, in fact, the green letter, nor was it the yellow letter. That means I get to go back and try a different letter, and that I actually know about at least 2 of the letters. Letter. I'm going to leave the O third. What if I did W, like OW? No, that wouldn't work. Sword isn't nearly enough points, though. I need more than 11. I know there's no L. What about M? MIO. I don't think that's a thing. VUTS. I can do the alphabet backward. I do wish the keyboard was in alphabetical order. It would be a lot easier to scan for the alphabetizing part of it. You know, it could be a Q. Although that's already quite high. But something like quote. Does that fit all the clues? It's between F and W in the alphabet. It reuses the O in the same spot, and it uses only the E from wheel. Yeah. Okay, we want a 14-point word earlier in the alphabet. Now I have 2 greens. I think it's the O and the E. Too common. How is flaky, obscure, and quote common? I don't know how this. I don't honestly know where it gets the information from. There's a good chance it's explained somewhere. I have not looked at the information. But if anyone knows, if you'd comment and let me know, that would be really helpful. Because that's the one clue that I don't know how to apply. Is it like how many times it comes up in a Google search, or is it like based on some measure somewhere? I honestly don't know. Okay, well, I got a lot of good information. We need 14 points, which means something. Earlier than Q. And I'm going to try the O and the E in place. So maybe like N. The tricky part is going to be getting higher scoring letters in there. C? It could have a C in it. It could be like OCE or something. Yeah, no, it's 21 points because X is worth 8. There's no placeholder or a cursor. A cursor would be great. Just saying. Oh, can't be OLE because we've eliminated L. Could have a P. I haven't used P yet. P comes before Q. PROVE. That is not enough points. But I'm going to do it just to see if my instincts were good. Farther toward A, too common. But I think the O and the E are right. Okay, good. Maybe K? Could have a K in it. K is worth 5. F, G, H, I, J? J is worth 8 points. I don't know how it would fit, though. L, M? M is worth 3. But I don't know how I would fit M in with the O and the E, unless it's O-M-E. That's an interesting thought. I didn't say this was easy. In fact, I think I said it was hard. You definitely have to stop and think. What about something like ozone? By George, I think I've got it. Yes! That was so good. I'm really, you can see I've only played a few times. I am really pleased with that. Nice. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I always like introducing a new game once in a while. If there are games you'd like me to try out, please feel free to suggest them. I try to change it up occasionally. And also, there should be a link in the description for if you would like to... no, sorry. I'm thinking of something else. If you would like to submit a custom map for my Wordles, I'm doing very well. Very, very well. I'm hungry. If you would like to submit a custom map for my GeoGuessr streams, there's a link in the description of where to do that. If you would like to suggest a 3-word start for Quordle, you can leave that in a comment. That's how that's supposed to work. I got there. It just took me, it took me a few tries, but, just like I finally got to ozone, I finally got to the instructions I was trying to give you. That's all I've got to say. Thanks so much for joining me this fine Saturday. Hope your October is off to a good start. Thank you so much to my patrons, especially my Explorer tier patron, Shannon. I appreciate all of you so very much. And I will see you all next week for some more daily weekly word games. Bye for now.